it's affected too much against Terran. We could still play Lingbane Muta or Lingbane Corruptor, or we could play a Roach Ravager or kind of like Roaches up straight up into Hydras, which if we go late game, we need to add Broodlords in and hit a timing attack with. But yeah, it kind of just comes down to what you want to focus on. So let's just choose one. So do you want to go Roach style or Lingbane style, first of all?
Definitely want to go Lingbane style. I think
Alright.
it will help me in the long run, learning how to attack mineral lines and multitask. I think that's probably
Cool.
the most important.
Yeah, I think it's fun. Like Roaches is kind of an easy path to get kind of like some success straight away. And there's definitely details and you can improve a ton with Roach play, but there are other skills that you develop with Lingbane, which you won't with Roach play. Mutas, Corruptors, or Hydras as the tier 2 support for that.
I've actually been playing a lot with mutas lately, having
Alright.
a lot of fun with them, so...
Let's do it. Lingbane Muta is awesome.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's try and play some Lingbane Muta here. Let's just dive into a game, smash it, just play as well as you can. I might poke in and say something once in a while, but let's not get too hung up on the details. I'm going to write down a lot of notes, and this is going to be awesome. So after today, obviously, like when we're done with the hour, you're going to have a whole bunch of replays of games you played, a ton of notes written down, so you can go back and read through those at your own pace while watching the replays like later today or tomorrow. And we'll just try to focus on the really key big points that are going to make the biggest impact. And that's what we're going to talk about between the games. So we stay focused on just one or two things at a time. So, you know, it's not, oh, I'm going to try and do the 26 little tiny mistakes or things Pig pointed out. Oh, sorry. My bad. That was just a mistake. Bit of a misclick there while I get my hotkeys back to standard.
And I
All
feel
right. Yeah.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
I mean, I was just going to say, just get in your groove and try to play your normal game plan, your normal build. And yeah, we'll focus you on the key things. Good luck, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for the support and the birthday wishes. One more month until a terrible baby joke. I know I need a new on EMC too, right? I need to start making jokes about kicking babies or something around. I don't really want to have a story to tell like Jim Jeffries in his last special, though, about making terrible jokes about like dead babies or anything like that. So I'll try to steer on the vaguely PC line of that one. Thank you very much for the support. Yeah, land count, EMC2, everyone else. So we're going to write some notes here. We're going to watch how Confined plays. First thing I noticed, was that an 18 hatch? It definitely went down a few seconds late. Not too big a deal for a Platinum player, but we're going to pay attention to all the little details here. The tiny little details and really look at structural changes. So ZvT game plan is something we're going to be writing notes on and kind of fleshing out. If we're going Lingbane Muta, we really probably do want the rule of one gas. Spawning tool. So that's the build I'm going to be steering my student towards. And I'm going to be giving this as a resource. So if they want to like learn it straight from the build. Great build for this is definitely the rule of one gas. I've linked it in chat for anyone who wants it. I'm going to be writing some notes for game one here about the little details. One thing we're going to talk about a little bit later is macro cycles. As a person who's only been playing for a month, he's going to have loose macro cycles. So what's an in macro cycle, guys? It's every 30 seconds, you bounce home. You inject all hatcheries, then you produce a round of units.
Bam! An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a dick for a dick.
And we are going to mute those alerts. Sorry. Thank you very much, Carl Fishy, for the 5 gifted subs. Bam, 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 bam. Everyone, welcome to the pigsty. Thanks so much, guys. Massive thanks for that huge generosity, Carl Fishy. Much love. I can still hear the audio. What? That's weird. No? Can you guys still hear it? Where the fuck is that audio coming from? Oh, you guys can't hear it? Okay, it is just me. Good, good, good. It is coming through here. Good, good, good. I'm an idiot. I muted it on OBS. Obviously, I can still hear it. All right. Crazy fast Baneling Nest. It's always good to have a supply gap rather than get supply blocked, guys. And that supply block, supply gap can get bigger and bigger as your production ramps up. So early on, it's comfortable to be 44/36, right? Small supply gap. Once you're by 60, 70 supply, it should be 60, 70 out of 100. Double supply gap. Once you're at 100 supply, 100 out of 140. So you've always got extra overlords because nothing is worse than hitting that supply cap and halting all of your production to a standstill. Notice he just injected a hatch, he's injected another, and he should be building units right after that. Because he's supply blocked, he wasn't able to. The macro cycles are getting out of rhythm. He is, however, ramping up production. He's got great Ling coverage. For a player who's been playing for a month, you can tell he's been studying the videos. He's been watching how to play. He's been trying to get better and better at this, and that's fantastic. Now, T-Man here is trying to do a hellbat timing. Didn't pick the Marines up into the medevac, unfortunately, so they're going to be a little bit behind this. But there's just not a lot of Queens out. The Queens are now all starting up, but they are a little bit late. There's no creep, and there's also no Overlords out front of the base. So these Overlords here are not important. That Overlord's nice. You always want to have an Overlord there and an Overlord there, first of all. So we're going to write that down here. We're writing all these notes, as I say. Okay, so a few things that went wrong in this early game. You need to pull off gas after. Did he have Banelings? Oh, he did have Banelings. No, he's fine. Nice. You need to pull off gas after Ling Speed. Bane Nest is too early. 4 minutes is fine. That's the 2 base. Fine in a normal game. If versus 1 base, you can have a reaction where you get it faster. But your standard should be based around normal builds. Expands. 1 base is rare. 36 and 44 supply blocks. So how do we stop that? We memorize our early OV timing. What about an OV sacrifice to scout? What time should we do that, guys? 3:30. Let's say 4 minutes. Every game, every matchup. Oh, that queen could have killed that if it kept attacking the whole time. Still hasn't built a spore crawler, so the reaction to Liberator is bad. This is very common. Reaction to Liberator. What do you do first, guys? Pull drones, drop a spore, micro queen into position. And you don't just pull drones. You pull to the other side of the mineral patch. You pull them off minerals. Hey, happy birthday, RJNFC. It's your birthday too. Congrats, dude. On being old. Alright, let's see what we do with these lings. Big A move would make me real happy. Don't think we need to do anything else. Like, right now you can see a lot of microing the lings, and they're just not achieving that much. We should be macroing behind this. If we just split the lings into both bases, they would have done a little bit of a better job. So, there we go. He's getting the hang of it. He's doing really good. Still no spores on each base. Yeah. Verse any Hellion opening? What should we do, guys? 4 minute 30 spores. Why? Because that blocks Liberator. Banshee. And BC harass. There we go. That would have made a big difference. Yeah. Drop a spore, micro queen into position. And then put drones back on mining. They're not achieving that much? Well, they weren't. The thing is, he could have been killing the SCVs a lot faster and spending a lot less APM doing it. So it's one of those things where the micro you're putting in is achieving nothing. It's actually negating your damage. So what I said was exactly correct. You guys can backseat as much as you want there in chat. Just remember, you'll be wrong if you disagree with me. That's how things go in StarCraft. You guys, you know, I pretend that I like to encourage discussion. Just remember that I'm always right. So that's the discussion we get down with. That's the discussion we get down with. It's one-sided. I'm like a school teacher in the 1940s. You're wrong. I will beat you with my fucking. I've got my like ruler. I got my blackboard cleaner. Who's right? Me versus Cyril? Me, obviously. Cyril just has fast hands. He's a dumbass. He has no idea how to play StarCraft. Kid's so stupid. He would have won so many more championships if he had my big brain. But he can't cram it in that tiny head of his. It's just fast hands. That's all he's got. Whee! So if he had spores earlier, he never would have ended up in this. He never would have ended up in this position. He's taking way too much damage there. The Link counter did some good damage, but like, yeah. The Liberator did too much and all this. So, I mean, there's certain things he's doing well mechanically. I want to see how he settles into his macro rhythm here. I want to see how he, like, gets into that. He's got 80 Zerglings. Hot damn. Still nothing spotting outside the base, which is the most important area to see. And because of that, he's just missed the army moving right across. And this is like low and mid-tier Zerg in a nutshell. Just constantly having armies arrive at your base that you never see coming. And this is just like the biggest no-no of Zerg play. You should never let your opponent get to your base without seeing it coming. Now this Terran army is fragile. There's more than enough Zerg to take it out. But because he's let them siege. T-Man, by the way, not scanning ahead, could easily have been overwhelmed. So not a good engage by T-Man. He'll win the game with this engage, but very risky how T-Man set this army up. No scan ahead, should have sieged up back here, and moved far too deep. But this is very common at this level, and I was talking about this the other day, is because players don't scout or have map control properly, players in the lower leagues consistently get away with setting up their push inside their opponent's base, and they start to think it's a good idea when you should actually be setting it back a screen back. Creep spread's weak. I don't think creep spread matters at this level at all, Mafik. It's the last thing to be worrying about. It's like the icing on the cake. We've got to bake the cake first. It's a good point. It makes a difference, but we'll get there. All right, GG. Well played. Some very good things going on. For someone who's only been playing for a month, whoo, this is awesome. Really good basis. I can tell you've been working on some mechanics. You're putting your drones back on gas properly with deselecting. You put out some Ling Scouts early, which was great. And you were ahead in that game. And if you had a Ling spotting outside their base, the most important Ling on the map, you would have seen that attack coming, and you probably would have been able to take it out if we were engaging it. Yeah, well, I'm writing a ton of notes here because there's lots of little fundamental things like Overlord vision. You did a good job of putting your Overlords around the edges of your base, but that's not as important this early on. Sorry, let me turn the audio back on so the stream can hear you. Thank you, guys. It's nice to have that on the edges for when air harass comes in. 5 minutes. About 5 minutes onwards is when that happens. But early on, you need to see Reaper, you need to see Hellions, you need to see things out front your natural and out front your third. So what you want to be doing is you want to be focusing yourself on saying, wait a second, second Overlord. So your first Overlord goes to their base, right? First Overlord sits ready to scout.
Yeah.
And that's a 4-minute scout we send in. Second Overlord sits out front natural. Third Overlord sits out front third base. And that would give you so much more warning of these attacks coming in and that sort of stuff. But the Banelings do fine. They do okay. I think that's all right. We can definitely refine our build a little bit more. Tell me, were you doing kind of like a rule of one gas there? It kind of felt like you were just staying on one gas until 3 bases saturated. Was that the goal?
Yeah, because I feel like if I'm on one gas, at least if I need Banelings, I've got the gas for it. But thinking about it, it's probably not that important. It's important to drone up as quick as possible and get 3 bases saturated. But I'm not sure.
Well, you did stay on one gas, which allows you to drone pretty hard. Because you do stay on that one gas the entire time and you don't pull off, yeah, it's like a little bit less minerals. But, I mean, you're still going to be macroing harder than most people in Diamond League. So, looking at the level you're at, I think it's totally fine to leave on gas right now. So, okay. I had written a note here saying, oh, we've got to remember to pull off gas. And I'm actually going to delete that.
Okay.
once we hit diamond. I'll put in brackets next to it. So we don't need to worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's actually not important at all.
A celebratory remove gas once I hit diamond. I love it. It's like a little thing to work on.
Exactly. You're like, all right, we're at a level where that matters a lot more now. These little things. Put off gas for a minute, put back on gas. But I think for the moment, it's like a good middle ground because you're staying really heavy on minerals. You're trying to get those 3 mineral lines up, and you did a good job of it. There's a few little things. Like our baneling nest was about 3 minutes. It was kind of like, this is probably something you've started getting very early because sometimes you play weird one base all-ins, and then you're like, oh, I guess I need the baneling nest this early. Yep. But that's something that should be a reaction, right? If 10% of your games you play a weird one base all in, it should be something which, oh, he doesn't have a natural, our Overlord or our Zergling, whatever scouted this. Oh, let's go with that fast baneling nest. But normally we can have that baneling nest a bit later, about 4 minutes or so. So it's kind of like after both mineral lines are fully saturated and that sort of thing. Really prioritizing getting out that early stuff. Yep. Other than that, I think we do want to start a third queen immediately. So that's your build's gonna feel very similar. The money that goes into the baneling nest is basically going to go into that third queen.
Okay, so just to repeat, so we're not doing the baneling nest unless I see it to be something I need straight away. And with the money I'm saving on the baneling nest, we're getting a third queen to start creep. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, so you're getting your baneling nest about 2 minutes 30, 3 minutes before.
Yep.
And we're still going to build it every game, but not until 4 minutes.
Okay.
So you only are you going to build it at 3 minutes really, really fast straight away if you see your opponents on one base.
Yep.
So don't even think about that as a normal thing because that's not something you'll have to do very often, right? That's like a separate reaction. So looking at your Google Drive document here, we've got the notes written out and stuff. It's really handy to always think, well, what's the most common situations I end up in? And that's my default. And the other stuff is like a variation off that, where things have changed a little bit, things are a little bit different. So we have those as separate sort of reaction lists, right? You'll have a build order and then you'll have like, okay, shit, I keep facing BC. What's my reaction list to BC? How do I adjust my game plan once I see that or something? So on and so forth. So generally speaking, we're just going to delay the baneling nest to 4 minutes every game. All right. We're going to get a third queen a bit faster with that money. She's going to start spreading creep out, which is very important. I don't want you to be crazy focused on creep. Lingbane, yeah, creep's important. Don't get me wrong. The level you're at, we want to build up your fundamental structure just a little bit more. Have a little bit of creep spread in there, connecting your bases, getting a little bit out front, kind of towards your fourth and stuff. That'll help you a bit. But we're not like, oh my god, creep is the most important thing. It's just like, okay, if we can get a few tumors in here, it'll help our queens and banelings defend our bases. That'll be great.
Yeah.
This was a really good build from T-Man because I think it's like something we face a lot.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Like, of course, I'm willing to lose like a whole bunch of games on ladder, like 20 games in a row, to make sure I'm at least dealing with battlecruiser harass or dealing with Hellions properly, because I know when I progress further, it's going to be something that's more common. So, yeah, I'm happy to see that. It's a bit odd in Platinum in Australia at the moment. It's definitely a lot of like one base all-ins or just crazy hidden bases. So.
Yep. Fair enough. I mean, we can definitely like look at those as well, but yeah, I think as well, just start watching the replays whenever you play those and just kind of like work on that reaction list. And we can talk about that a little bit more later today as well, potentially. Like, but write it down and you'll find that like just with a little bit of a set structure, you're like, oh, I don't know what he's doing. I know he's on one base. And you can be like, okay, queue up a Zergling to scout the corner bases, number one. Number two, start a baneling nest straight away and build an extra round of Zerglings just so I've got some stuff on hand in case something weird hits me. Like, and then just go back to droning up and playing a normal game. And just try to be very confident. I think the biggest problem people have is they get like hung up on being like, oh, but what if I don't have enough units? What if I do? And they're just like not building anything. And they're like so in their own head about it. And then they're like supply blocked. And I'm like, and I'm looking at these replays a lot of the time, right through to Platinum. And I'm kind of like, I'm like, wait a second. If you just built half drones, half army, didn't react at all to anything your opponent's doing, you're just like, he's doing something weird on one base, you would have had enough units to stop it. But because the player freaks out, their lava's just sitting there, they're not building their overlords, they're like, do I build? Oh, and then they and ah, and then they finally build drones and they freak the hell out.
So I'm trying to train myself with overlords, right? Because I know I supply block myself so much. Like, it's just a consistent thing. So if I supply block myself, I actually have to do weights. I've got a whole set of weights behind. So if I get supply blocked during my ladder like sessions, I always try and exercise. So that kind of
That's
deters me
sick.
to like fucking, you know.
That's the best, man. That's awesome. That's really good. So I think a theory there, a little bit of theory around that, because that was something that slowed down your opening. You want to have a supply gap, right? So if you're at 40 out of 60, that's okay. I would rather that than you get a bit supply blocked, right? So if you build a couple overlords, do I want you 40 out of 90? No, that's too much, right? But as you go up in supply, that supply gap can get bigger. Because once you got 3 bases fully producing, you're going to be building units so fast. Having 30 or 40 extra supply is nothing, right? You'll fill that up in no time.
Yeah.
So think about it this way. If we're at 40 supply, we're going to be out of 55 or something, okay? If we're at 70, out of 100. If we're at 100 supply, it should be out of 140, 150. So like as you get past 100 supply, you got 3 bases plus, you can just build overlords to 200 straight away. Like, you know, that's fine. Always have a bit of a gap and let that ramp up. Early on, you know, we can, if it's always the 36 supply block that gets you, here's a hint, it does. Why? Because you're a Zerg player and it gets all of us. Just memorize exact opening a little bit more. You can always go back at it and just be like, this one overlord always gets me. Let's remember, right after I start my 3rd base, build an overlord or something like that. Like you'll come up with a trigger that just works for you. You'll be like, if I built it at that time, then I wouldn't get supply blocked or only barely for a second. So that sort of stuff should be good. Yep.
So I know Terrans usually builds 2 supply depots, and then like from your previous coaching sessions, I believe you have 2 SCVs, just basically building supply depots. With overlords, do I produce 2 until I hit, say, 100 supply, and then it turns into 3 at a time or 4 at a time? Like, is that something that like players do, or is it just, yep, I'm 20, I'm fine, I'll build a couple more overlords, and it's not really like a thought process? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I think it's something where if you can organize yourself into a little bit more of a macro cycle. Special is such a child. I love it. So, you know Special, the pro player, right?
Yeah.
The man child who hangs out of my hat. Wow, you just crashed my avatar program. Good job, Special. No, it is there. It's Tornadus Therian. You got to type in the full name, Special. So he ordered a custom emote for himself. Sent me the graphic so I could put it in my little avatar program. I've put it there. And now I'm pretty sure it's just Tornadus Therian with a space. Yeah, don't worry, the program will be back up in a sec. And he can run around with his 5th gen Pokemon. And it's the only 5th gen Pokemon that we have. But just for him, because he's made it to a BlizzCon semis, we give him special favor. So sorry, back to the whole, you know, you're getting supply blocked, you're not always thinking about it. Try to link up your actions with your macro a little bit more. Try to make sure it's like, you were doing a good job of injecting all your hatcheries at once. Because you're often supply blocked in the first place, you're not training yourself necessarily to produce units straight away, because often right after you inject, you're supply blocked, or you've just produced beforehand. But try to be like inject, then build lots of units and queue up extra overlords. So always save your overlords as quickly as possible. Alright. So I'm pretty sure maybe it has a hyphen. I can't remember. Wait. Oh, did I pick it? Oh yeah, I picked it. There we go. Yeah, you can pick it as well, dude. So it's one of those. I'll go back to a Zergling. Don't worry. It's all yours, Special. No one else is allowed to use that avatar. Chicken Man, give it up. Otherwise, Special's gonna get mad. No, yeah. So that's a really nice avatar. Check it out. Have fun, Special. If anyone picks it, don't worry. We'll kill them. You can fight them for the right of that. Thank you, Chicken Man. And Special should have that as well. Awesome. Okay, you guys can sort that out. Let's hop into the next game. Sorry for the distraction there, mate.
That's all good. All good.
Always nice to have a BlizzCon semi-finalist hanging out in chat. Cool. Should we get into the next game?
Let's do it.
All right, so just rehearsing. Let's remember that Baneley Nest. Let's not take that till a bit later on.
So 4 minutes, yeah?
Yep.
Excellent.
Let's get a 3rd queen, spread a little bit of creep. Other than that, I didn't mention it before, but I'll talk about it during the game. We're going to see the same opening. All right, so we've asked for the same opening from T-Man, but we're going to, when we see Hellions, we're going to say, let's remember to build a Spore Crawler at each base. So like 4 minutes, 30, 5 minutes, somewhere around there.
Yep.
And that's going to block Liberators. It's going to block Banshees. It's going to block BCs. Those are all big high probabilities off any Hellion opening. So we just build those spores for safety, and it makes our life so much easier. So we're going to delay the Baneling Nest, get a third queen, spread a little bit of creep nice and early, and then we're going to remember to get some spores a little bit later. Other than that, your build was good last game in a lot of ways. Keep it up, get in your groove. Let's kick some ass.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you.
There you go. You guys can have the avatars for a few minutes in game, even though I don't like to put them in game. Thank you so much for the support, guys. I really appreciate that support. Hollow Casper with the Twitch Prime sub. Jordan left meat best buy. Thank you. Goes for the win with the 713 sub. Nestd with the 513 sub. And Sip Ship with the 199 bit cheer. Much love for the support, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Did Special get his Tornadus? He did, right? Awesome. Yeah, the rest are all very pixel arty, but his is like some HD Pokemon. Look at that. That's crazy. Are you happy with your Pokemon Special? Does it look good? I hope so. Yeah, you guys should all try and fight Special. See how this 5th gen Pokemon does. You happy with it? It's pro. It's pretty good. He did a good job. You gotta tell me who you hired to make that Special. So, we're focusing here on a bit of Zerg vs Terran coaching. Anyone who's just tuned in? Actually, let's get a bit of YouTube music, shall we? Warcraft soundtrack. Hi-oh. And let's go. Alright, so the drone's just kind of scouting. I like people drone scouting at low levels. Any player who's relatively new to the game, just drone scout. Get early warning if it's one base or not. And I notice he leaves on gas. One thing is his gas does go down a little bit earlier than required. So we can definitely delay that gas a little bit. Let's write that down. I was writing down so many other notes, I didn't get that one in the previous one. Game 2, stasis. Gas tends to go down mega early. Can go pool then gas in future to make sure it's not too fast. You don't really have money. Just remember to build a 3rd queen after that. But yeah, you're doing really good so far. And good to see you remember the Overlord ahead of time this one. So there we go. 3rd's gone down. I started the 3rd queen and now just needs to focus on droning here. Not the most efficient. There's going to be a big lava excess. Obviously this gas mining so early. And did forget Ling speed as well. And let's not forget Ling speed.
Ah, of course.
Yeah, I'm like, I really want this base to already be fully saturated, so that is a bit of a delay. I don't want to change everything too drastically though. That's all. Yeah, Warcraft 2 music for the win. What's up, Flutch? Thanks for hanging out, mate. Yeah, I'm being retired from StarCraft. I'm too old, dude. Did a better job with the Overlords this time. They should actually be further out front. They're not as far out as they should be. But that's something. Make sure you make that Baneling Nest. We don't need Spore Crawlers yet. So about 5 minutes is when we need those spores. So cancel these spores for now. Since 4:30 is pro timing. Add 30 seconds for Plat League. Yeah, there's like no queens out. So I mean, that gas being later would help. The Baneling Nest being a bit late is obviously a problem. Ling's not being in position ready to morph Banelings is a huge problem. And that's gonna get us killed. This is kind of high gold. It's technically in plat, is confined, but he's only been playing for a month. Very new to the game. We're going to see if he can stabilize from there. I don't think he will be able to. Whenever you're in an emergency position, spam queens out of all your hatcheries is something you can add in there. And now, you can also practice building a spore in each base since we've seen a Liberator fly in. Obviously this is like not a great position, but we can try. Yeah. Alright, so we can restart in a sec. For now, I just want to talk about the spore in the main. Okay? So we can basically GG. You can type GG if you want. So when that spore, when a Liberator comes in, I want to go through the set response.
Yep.
Step 1 is run the drones away, right? And don't just click them on the farm mineral patch, click them away like you did here. Way out of the zone, so they're not going to bounce back into it. Step 2 is always put down a spore. That previous game, you didn't put the spore down, and it cost you so much time. Remember how your queen went back in? It's like, always put the spore down, and then move your queen around. So right now in the main, show me how you'd move that queen to get it in position.
Hang on.
Yeah, okay, he's posting. Yeah, use a bit of a shift click. Nice way to do it.
Happy birthday,
All you need to do is
Thanks
move it
for
around
all
the edge. You don't even
quality
need to tell it
content.
to attack from there. I queue it up to hold position a lot of the time to make sure it doesn't walk into the zone, but honestly, just queuing it to go around the zone like you did, perfect. And obviously, getting down the habit of unburrowing the spore and then burrowing it if it's not in range is part of that. But just making sure you always build a spore no matter what, that'll be great. So let's GG out. Let's tap out. Let's restart again. So what went wrong that game? Our Baneling nest was slightly late. Didn't matter. We just didn't have any Zerglings at home to morph into Banelings, like when we saw those Hellbats. Otherwise, we were doing a little bit better there. One thing I've noticed is our gas does go down super duper duper early in our games. So we're going to try and take that gas after that spawning pool as well.
So hatch, spawn, and then extractor.
Yeah, and then the extractor a little bit later. So we're actually going to make it like easy for ourselves. And what we're going to do is we're going to say the gas is going to go down even a little bit later, potentially. Like we can drop that gas at like a minute 40.
Yep.
And that way it'll time out. Because we don't really need ling speed the moment it kicks in. We just, and this way we don't need to do fancy pulling on and off gas. So we're going to change your build order here. Great build is there. Okay, so build change.
So we'll still go 17 hatch and then 17 spawning pool, and then don't worry about gas until 1 minute 40.
Yeah, we can go like 145, we'll say. 145 gas, and we should be good. Because that's going to give you just a bit more minerals to start the third queen, start the third hatch, get your overlords, get your drones going. Allows us to saturate that natural nice and quickly.
So I know this might sound a bit silly because I know if he's going to do the same build, I know there's Hellbats. Do you think instead of 1 queen I should go 2 or 3? And that way I can practice spreading creep and doing all that?
You can defend Hellbats with queens, but you do need a little bit of micro banelings or the easier stopgap for now.
Okay.
Now we're still going to be building up lots of extra queens, like 3 extra queens. So part of your build will be once your natural is saturated, and you're droning your third,
Okay.
you can add 3 more queens. But that's a bit later. That's after this sort of Hellbat timing will hit us.
Yep.
So we're relying on Banelings and just our first few queens, and that'll get the job done. So we should be good. Let's go again. So only change here is that gas is a little bit later. That's naturally going to make everything else a bit better. Already you did a better job with like the overlords out front, your base that game and stuff, which was awesome. You had a bit more vision of things coming in. They could be even further out there, but honestly, let's just delay the gas, change that opening slightly. We'll have a little bit more minerals, and this should roll together real nice. Good luck, have fun. Alright, alright, alright. Banning stasis should be a big part of any Zerg coaching. That's like what everyone says, 17. Every Protoss player, every Terran player, and every Zerg player, they're like, just ban stasis, it's a shit map, man. This is what every StarCraft player says about every map that comes out, right? This is so funny, like every map, I'm like, I don't even know. It's Terran favored, right? Is it? Just because like good pushing paths? I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even think about it that much. I just wait until, oh. The fuck did I just press? How the shit do I change it back? You guys know this accidentally happened once in a GSL game?
That's so low.
Just one setting, and no one realized. No one realized until after the game. A viewer was like, the fuck? The clock doesn't line up. People were like, what? And they're like, yeah, the clock doesn't line up. We were like, what? And yeah, we realized that a match was played at like fast speed rather than faster in GSL. This was many years ago. It's insane. Natural's like 7 seconds late. Little bit chompy. Free, Captain Deadhead. No, Captain Deadhead. That was not Captain Dickhead. That was Captain Deadhead for sure. How many foreigners have we got in GSL this time? GSL season doesn't start till next year. Radiological alarm. Last season we had what? Raynor. Who else made it in? Neeb. Raynor and Neeb were the two that did really well. Can't remember who else made it in. What's up, gang? I can smell some really tasty food from my neighbors. Oh, the trucker. Yeah, okay. Let's watch Confined here. Confined is changing up the order a bit, so the mechanics are naturally going to slow down a little. Building lots of drones here. Inject. Ling speed should start up. There we go. We should see a third queen next. Overlord, and then third queen. So let's always remember, it's going to be like Ling speed, Overlord, third queen. It's going to be your order now with this new gas timing, and it should time out pretty nicely.
Yep.
And after that queen, of course, it's like more overlords, more drones, and just kind of continuing to saturate. Already, we've got great mineral saturation nice and early.
Yep.
It's looking good. I wonder if Mania's down for twos later. Playing a lot of team games lately. I've been enjoying it. Resubbing to Maynard right now.
Very much, Pig. Anyway.
So Confine's looking pretty good right now, but where are the Zerglings at? Where's the Baneling Nest at? Baneling Nest goes down. 20 seconds late. That's fine. That's totally fine.
Been proxied by triple barracks before. Down for twos later? Yes. Like one my time, if that's cool with you.
Alright guys, 1:30 my time, so just over an hour and a half from now I'll be doing 2v2s with Maynard. Sweet. Look, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub, dude. Appreciate it. Tied with the 500-bit cheer before. CM Show with the $5 tip. Ruby Salon with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Where's the Baneling morph? Oh, no.
I guess they don't do so well against Hellbats.
No, you meant to morph Banelings. Yep. Yep. Even you can always just run away and morph Banelings. Yep. Never run Lings in against him.
Yeah.
It's all about, oh, he's making those Hellbats. Okay, let's make some Banelings and we'll be fine. You can still hang on here. Just pull these drones away if you can. Try to get your Ling Bane to clean this up. Yep. Ooh. Yeah, don't ever run through the Hellbats. Because they're very slow, you can always run away, like, directly away from them, like to the left. So what you want to do in that micro is you really want to make sure you try and control click your Banelings and click them into the Hellbats. or even put them on a different control group and try it out. This was a way better opening. You're trying to get used to a new opening. We're not meant to win this game. We're meant to lose. Let's GG out. Let's tap out of it. This is exactly what's happening. Your build was so much cleaner that game. Honestly, it lined up way better. I love it. And I love that little trigger we came up with. Where we're like, okay, third goes down. We go Ling speed, Overlord, Queen. Bam, bam, bam. And that's such an important part of the build. So I'm like remembering that. I'm writing it down. It's like, okay, third base, then Ling speed, and then Overlord, and then Queen. OV, and then Queen. Beautiful. Build was way better. You had a ton of workers. We definitely could have been kind of already producing a few more queens. As I said, like whenever you get to the point where you're kind of droning towards your third, just build a few queens. If you want to make those banelings just by default for safety, just always have 4 or 5 banes hanging around, that's fine. I don't mind it. But we had plenty of time there. If we just ran those lings back when we're like, oh shit, hellbats, run back, make banelings. Lings wreck hellbats only if the hellbats are all spread out. You know, if they all go out and let themselves get individually surrounded, lings wreck them. When they're in a ball like that, lings just do nothing.
I just feel like whenever I'm versing Hellions and I get a surround, it's like it kind of works out better. So I feel like my thought process is, Hellbats, no different to Hellion. Stupid, I know. Chuck him in and that'll be fine. So I'll know that for next time. Bailing's a good thing.
Yeah. So just a little tidbit on how the splash works. With the Hellion, it's just a very thin line. It's a straight line. Whereas with the Hellbat, it's a rather fat cone. So the surround doesn't matter. Basically, it's just once you have enough Hellbats next to each other, all the cones are overlapping and Zerglings just evaporate. But like you surround a single Hellbat, that cone only goes out in one direction. It's hitting 1 or 2 lings. But once you get 4 or more Hellbats together, that's where it's like you've got all these overlapping cones and the lings just do nothing. Yeah. So Hellions, on the other hand, obviously you surround even 8 Hellions. Each Hellion thing's only hitting 1 Zergling, right? Yep. So it works out really nicely there. So let's hop in one more game. I think already this opening's coming together a lot nicer here. Just because we're a little bit more focused on those minerals. We got those banelings ready for the defense. Let's just remember to morph in this game once we see, you know, Hellions looking frightening and we kick some ass.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Alright. Let's go. It's a good little sesh, guys. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of cheese after this game. What up, Blind Mute? 30? What the fuck? Blind Mute. What's up, man? Do you think I'm older or younger than you thought? Lucky 7. Thanks, Locked. My man. Time went normal, so his timings on spores, etc. are wrong. I mean, that was only for a few seconds, though, that it was down to normal speed, so yeah. Yeah, this gent's been playing for about a month. It's kind of like lower end of plat. He's technically plat 2 ranked at the moment, but he says he feels like he's more high gold. So he's, you know, he's a patient learner. He's confined. He's doing pretty good as well. I'm proud of him. I think he's doing pretty good for a new player. He's clearly been picking up some mechanics and kind of getting systems down and stuff. Another thing that's just popped up, which I can write down here, is maybe we can go and have a creep / defense queen hotkey, because I don't think he's been using that. I haven't been paying attention to his hotkeys. I don't think he's been using that. This fucking food smell is driving me crazy, guys. I think I need to go heat up some food, and that way maybe I can eat it for this early game still going. Maybe I can do that. I'm like, I'll just give him 5 minutes of extra coaching to make up for the fact that I'm like walking away during the early game. Better value for him, to be honest, if I do that than it is. Yeah, I'm a fair coach. I'm gonna throw some food in the microwave. Be right back.
Our drones are under attack. Our drones are under attack.
If I can skip lunch break, it's going to be non-stop games. So gas timing looks like it was pretty spot on. Queens are on the way. Only 2 lings this game. A little bit greedy on that point, but that's all right. Warcraft 2 music, Kalari. Confine's, yeah, clearly a pretty advanced gamer. Okay. To be getting good so fast. He's killing it. He's killing it. If he reads through all the notes I've written and watches the replays as well, ooh, he's gonna kick ass. Yeah, just taking your time to do that over a few days, I think is like a really good thing players can do to maximize the coaching benefits. So let me see, we've got. Okay. So I've got some creamy tuna pasta, tuna mushrooms, red onions, tomato paste. It's like the best bachelor meal of all time that I still cook. It's the only bachelor meal that Dot's like happy to eat. Thank you, Ragnar. I really wanted to ban that actually. You just denied me some play. No, it's all good. I was like, oh, a juicy, stupid person posting the dumb things. It's like, let's fuck this shit up. Let's fuck this shit up. Okay. Baneliness is pretty well timed. Lots of drones on the way right now. Main keeps getting a bit undersaturated because the timings are a little bit different and hasn't been focusing on that. Might want to note that down. Interesting. So much Ling Bane being made. There is a defensive. Well, it's a queen hockey. I don't know if it's defensive or an injecting queen hockey. Bonus points if you click your queens on that medevac. Also bonus points if that gets microed a lot better. What's up? Okay. And cool. So, just getting the notes organized over here on the second monitor, guys. Sorry for all the umming and ahhing. Oh god, the nice food smell just turned kind of gross. God damn. That's weird. Micro by running your lings away and control clicking. That was not necessary because you never know where it's going to siege. Micro your lings by running your lings away and control clicking. So he should cancel that burrow. He's freaking out a little. What's he doing? Move the spore crawler. Come on. Not bad handling, but if we just don't unburrow the spores until they've sieged up in future, ever, just let them, because they might just siege up on top of it, so you're losing the potential chance to just get a free kill. You've got a ton of minerals, so let's build 3 hatcheries, double evo chamber, and let's try and finish saturating your bases. So build drones and rally them to where you're needed, but you want to build like 3 macro hatcheries whenever you're floating this much money. And you just want to try and, mass army units once you've got your 3 bases saturated. So run your drones away. It's something you always want to do against BCs, because BCs will target drones over the spore crawler. But as long as they stay in spore range, they will get obliterated. So just keep macroing and stop letting them distract you. So you just got to keep massing units, keep building queens, just select all your hatcheries, hold down that queen key, hold down that zergling key. Let's just queue up, you know, multiple queens, masses of lings here, and try to just get on top of that spending.
Lock
Yeah.
myself. That's always good.
Yeah. You get on top of it. Just get on top of that spending. You built 4 overlords. When you got 3,000 minerals, you can build 10 overlords all at once. Come on. There we go. Let's go. It's just all you got to do is focus on spending that money. Now, most players, when they fuck up their macro, they macro worse. And I always look at this and I say, what the fuck are we doing? All you got to do is catch up on spending that money, and all of the fuck ups mean nothing. If your opponent doesn't hit you in this window where you're not spending the money, it's fine. Mass army, keep injecting, massing army, make sure all your hatcheries on your hotkeys, and non-stop unit production, and keep your army at home. You know, you can leave some spotting units out, but don't ever just leave your army on the map. Get home with your army, make as much Ling Bane as you can. Oh, he's coming with a push. Get home, mass Lings, mass Banes. All you need to do is produce units here. Yeah, you got this, man. Make some Banelings. Where's that Baneling speed upgrade? Come on, let's go. All right, let's try and just stay back and just stay way back and wait for him to come really deep. So you want to cook your units way behind your hatchery, way behind it, right up. You don't want to start the fight. Just keep massing units. And if he comes forward, maybe we run at him, but we might not want to chase. If he pulls back, we can pull back. Yeah, just keep producing units. So stay back way behind the hatchery, because we know if we get through this money, we're building way more units than him. If units die on the rally out, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay? Keep massing Lings, keep injecting. Yeah, you're doing it. Awesome. So if we have about 30 seconds till Bane speed finishes. Just wait for that, your army will be 1,000 times better. So try to keep producing, keep injecting, and this is how you win against a lot of pushes. Patience as a Zerg, most important thing. Okay? So you can run forward just to scare him off, but don't commit. And then run back. Good job. You see, he's stimming himself to death as well. Every second that goes by, his army gets weaker. 10 seconds until Baneling speeds here. Keep massing and get ready. And when you engage, there's some Widow Mines. So you want to A-move and then box your units at the front and try to kind of move them through his army. Basically, just A-move your army. Bane speed's ready. Let's go. Let's do it. No. You want to A-move and then box the front units and move them through. So, yep. You're doing it. Good job. Good job. And that pulls those Widowmine shots away from the juicy center of Banelings. This was not a great angle, so you couldn't do it as much as you wanted to. But keep massing Ling Bane behind this. All you can do is A-move here, not much more micro you can do. Keep injecting. Respread creep. Keep spending your money. You can absolutely crush this game. The power of waiting. When we know we've got a lot of money, we've got a lot of bases, a lot of economy, the power of pulling back and waiting and just not going into where they want to fight is huge. It's absolutely massive, especially against Terran. But as a Zerg, it's one of your most important skills. That was sick. That was really good. That was really good. So he's still struggling to get on top of his spending, which is fine. But like, yeah, he's starting to get there. He's starting to get there. Another macro hatch goes down. Why not? He's only got 5 hatcheries on his hotkey, so well, one of these oh, that macro hatch died. That's why. Fair enough. Wait macro. Okay, kill. Yeah, that's Zerg, man. All right, guys, I'm gonna close the avatars off since it is a little bit messy. Just wanted to appease Special there, give him a chance to play with his avatar. 1-1's on the way. And this is awesome, yeah. It's always tempting to A-move our whole army around, but let's try and not just headbutt our army. So this is a really bad instinct most players have, is to scout with their army. Remember, we always want to send in individual spotters. We want to use deselecting wherever possible.
Yep.
And yeah, we want to kind of just say, well, how can I get further ahead? A lot of players defend, they crush a fight like you did. And then they just A-move across the map because they have no idea what's happening. They go, maybe I should attack? let's take a 5th base. Let's drone up a bit more. Your worker count right now, if you hover over your supply in the top right of your screen, you'll see you've actually only got about 60 workers. Whereas in the late game, we're going to be up at 70. So if we can get another 10 workers out in a 5th base, that'll be fantastic. If we can spread a little bit of creep. And if we do want to do a big Ling Bane Muta fight, that's not bad, but it's better if he comes out into the map and fights us there. It's also better if our 1-1 upgrades finish. So the more patient you are with this, the better. Now with those mutas, you got to be careful on this map. That's a flyer blocker, that big green screen.
Oh, okay.
So you actually can't move through that. So yeah, just be wary of that. Your units will just get stuck on it and die. But yeah, so think about this. What's your advantage? Yeah, spread creep. Now, once you've got active tumors, it's more important to keep spreading those active tumors than it is to use your queens.
Okay.
So once you've got tumors on every path on a map, you actually don't even need to spread new tumors with your queens. They can just sit there with their energy, maybe queue up in lava injects or something. So that's something which is an important habit. A lot of people go, oh, just keep dropping tumors, keep dropping tumors, keep dropping tumors. Not nearly as important as a lot of people think. So let's start 2-2, and it looks like he might be pushing us. So let's start 2-2, and let's mass more Ling Bane. We're still not maxed. More Overlords. We haven't maxed out yet, so we should always finish that max out. No reason not to. And go, oh, that's a big army. All right, let's go. Set up a flank. So make heaps of Banelings first. Let's make tons of Banelings, as many as we can, basically. And let's get ready to flank. So make heaps of Banelings. Awesome. All right, now that flank, you've got to move it further to the right or it's going to get stuck on the terrain. So wait with it. Just sit it on the tower for now. Yep. And we're going to wait for him to move forward, and we can kind of get this other army. Notice how it's all clumped up. Let's get it into the open, so it's moving through a central area first. So the left-hand side of your army, you want to move it down just slightly. And then whenever you're ready, just close it in. Yep. Juicy. Keep making lings, even during battles. Once you've set up a flank, not much else you can do. A moving is the way to do it. You just want to keep massing lings. And you want to go back and you want to say, ooh, let's move my drones around. Natural, let's grab half the workers from the natural, send them over to the 5th, half the workers from the 3rd, send them to a base. And really, after you win a fight, how do you get ahead?
Economy.
Yeah, move your workers around. Now, if he keeps fighting you, sure, we can go fight that army. We can say, okay, well, we do want to, we just made a ton of Ling Bane. Let's go take the middle of the map. Don't let him bully us around. We just crushed an army. We should still be in charge of this game. Smash him. No reason not to jump on that. You killed his entire army, all his tanks before, so we should not be giving up map control. So, like, after we clear this army, do we go A, move, and kill? No. But what are we going to do? We're going to put lings on each base. We're going to put a ling on the tower. Obviously, it looks like we could probably just win here, but let's suppress that instinct. Let's imagine it was a bit of a closer fight. We've only got a few units left. So we want to, yeah, split your lings up on the watchtowers and all around. And then we want to go back and move the drones around, like I was talking about before, Make sure those drones are going to new bases. And as you get to the later stages, you've got a lot of money. If you can just take extra hatches, that's always nice, because it means as your bases run out, you've just got somewhere new to send drones. And if a base gets sniped, you can just run the drones to one of these other extra hatcheries you have sitting around.
Yeah.
So this is awesome. And whenever you've done that, so you want to spend like a minute like moving the drones around, getting the ones from your 3rd base to a new base, that sort of thing. Like if a base is a few workers over, it doesn't matter. But your 3rd base, we see 14 out of 8. Okay, that should be dropped down to just 6 or 7 workers on our 3rd. We're spreading creep, which is great. And then we can go, okay, we can't forget army though. That is still the most important thing at this stage. Let's mass lots of Ling Bane. If you want to go mutas, that's fine. Just make sure you're going to go counterattack with them, fly through the bases. Make sure you've always got a lot of Banelings in your army, because if you don't have Banelings, you can't jump on his army when he moves out. Oh, they do have combat shields. I thought they didn't for a sec. Yeah, and this should be really nice. So you can finish the game whenever you feel like for now, but I'm trying to get you in this rhythm. So you see you're spreading tumors there with your queens. Waste of APM. You've already got 3 active tumors there. You don't need this many tumors. It's a waste of clicks. You only need 2 or 3 on each path. Okay. All you need to do is spread those periodically rather than waiting for your queens. If you wait for your queens, it's going to be really slow creep spread. So that's a habit to break early on, just to make sure we don't get in that. All right. Yeah, finish it whenever you want. Good luck.
Okay.
We wanted to practice a few things there, guys. That's why we weren't finishing the game. You want to slow yourself down sometimes. Make sure you're focusing on the right things. Doing a bit of two-pronged pressure, good way to do this. Because there's Marines there, you should not be fighting that. Yeah, just keep flying around. Baneland's going to take out the planetary. Oh, he's trying to prepare micro. T-Man, what a boss. Too many Banes there, man. And he's remaxing on wings. What a boss. GG. Really, really good promise. Really good promise, this player. My man, GG, well played. Fantastic. That felt a lot better, didn't it?
Yeah, the winning helped a little, but no, just the like the thought process of because what I find, especially in late game, is that I'm unsure whether to drone up or to just create army or to expand. So, like that kind of just talking through what I needed to do really helped me.
Yeah,
just, develop
helps.
like, a better late game kind of.
It's like find your footing, and you can still decide to go one way or the other, right? Like whether you're going to go aggressive or not. But it's like, well, now you've just got the checklist first. It's like, well, move my drones around to the new bases, make sure I've got about 65, 70 workers. That's kind of the optimum if you go into that big later stage.
Yeah.
As you get, like you'll see pros go 85, sometimes even 90. We don't want to do that. That's very advanced because it's just, we're not going to be able to manage that much economy. It's a bit too much moving drones around and everything. But 65, 70, what else were we doing? We're spreading creep. We're trying to get that habit down as a little bit more solid. Most importantly, after we hold, we've got to set up the lings all over the map to make sure, number one, they don't just build 3 command centers on different locations for free and turn them into planetaries and suddenly have a gigantic economy. No, we see that, and they actually have to go secure those bases. They have to spend more APM to do it, more effort, more units. And we see when their next attacks come out. And our army is kind of, you know, just kind of like ready. Whenever we control the map, we feel comfort because it's like, cool, we've got the watchtowers, we've got ling spotters out. Let's make sure my economy's at a good point. And then we can just kind of wait for that perfect moment for a beautiful engagement. And we saw that flank you set up was fantastic. Just kind of boxing half the army, moving it around.
Yep.
You know, that makes a huge difference with these pushes. That first push, you weren't ready for it all. But this is what we got to remember as a Zerg. Just don't fight until you're ready. Just pull back. Just pull back. In that case, Bane Speed was a huge help. Waiting for Bane Speed. And in that time, realistically, we could have also set up a flank, but I knew that would be a bit beyond your means right now. You're trying to inject, build units, and keep your units from running into his push. I was like, oh, let's just stay behind the hatchery. And that's something else, right? Get way behind the hatch. A lot of people, I'm like, get back, and they kind of get back to the middle. I'm like, no, get your units behind. Because otherwise, if they get shot once, they're all going to try to run forward and attack the Marines or tanks, right? And you're going to lose a ton of units. And that buying time was great. He overstimmed his Marines. He was like, bloody hell, come and fight me, man. Because he doesn't want to unsiege all of his tanks. He wants you to come to him and fight off creep. But yeah, if he came forward as well, we would have had a better fight because there would be tanks unsieged when we A move, and he'd be on creep. So we'd be better off even if Bane Speed wasn't done. But we bought team time for Bane Speed. And that was awesome. We're out of time, but this was a great session. There's a ton of notes. Read through, watch the replays. And like you should develop really well. You've got a lot of promise for playing only a month. Like already a lot of things you're doing really well. So this is really good start.
Cool. Yeah, no, I see the notes. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's been great.
Awesome, man. If anything doesn't make sense in there, just shoot me a follow-up email or whatever. But it should all be pretty self-explanatory.
Yep.
I think the build order is working a lot better now with the late gas. The spore crawlers being down was fantastic. There's still like all little things that as a newer player you just don't know yet, right? Like don't uproot the spore. There's a good chance that Liberator's coming to siege on top of your spore, which is the dream. So you know, if you've already got the spores ready, I mean already life was a lot easier. That BC came in, sat in spore crawler range the whole time. We learned something there as well. BCs will target drones, not the spore. So you've actually got to run your drones away as a big part. Otherwise it can sit over a spore crawler. The BC will die, but it will kill 20 drones before it dies. So you've got to just run the drones away from that base. And you were doing some good queen micro and stuff, which was great. So keep it up, man.
Awesome. No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, hit me up if you want to set up another one. Have a great day, man, and enjoy the rest of the week.
Thanks, mate. You too. Happy birthday.
Jack, thank you, man.
Cheers.
See you later.